Here we have a new one from Vic Tokai, the oddly named Totsuzan Macho Man, a game that revolves around you transforming from a little runt into an enormous, nearly nude bodybuilder. Welcome to Crazy Island. This actually got a US release by Sammy under the name Amagon. Man, I sure dig that logo, with the eyes and fangs on the O. Not sure why Amagon was flying a Red Baron-style biplane or wearing an early 20th century bathing suit. The island is not crazy in the US version, so the goal is to get to that boat. And look, there it is in the background. Doesn't even look that far away. Swimming might make more sense than crossing the island. So this is another Japanese game, so normally harmless creatures will kill you with one touch. Birds, spiders, mushrooms, mosquitoes, frogs, all are extremely dangerous here. I don't know what the Japanese game's plot is, but according to the US release's manual, Amagon is the world's most decorated marine, which seems unlikely considering his fragility. And the box art depicts him as some goofy-looking kid. He even looks too young to be handling that rifle. And what the hell sort of name is Amagon anyway? Marines in video games have names like Bill or Lance or something like that. Were his parents hippies or Lord of the Rings fans or something? The object, aside from shooting everything and not getting killed, is to grab those power-ups that add to your points. Get enough points and you'll be able to turn into Megagon, a more macho version of Amagon. However, you need to also find the Mega Key, which has a little graphic of Megagon on it. Of course, there's only one or two specific enemies in a level that actually drop the Mega Key. And if you don't find it, you'll be kind of screwed when you reach the boss. Hitting select will transform you into Megagon if possible. The little bars at the top center will show you your life. Each time you take a hit, it'll take off one bar. You also have a cool wave beam, but it uses up, again, one bar each time you fire it. When all your bars are gone, you transform back. The bosses are easy as Megagon, but take tons of hits while you're in regular form. Oh yeah, and did I mention your ammo is limited, and if you run out, you're screwed? Now I like Amagon's bright cartoony graphics, and the game looks pretty simple. One thing that's not obvious watching Amagon be played by someone else is just how brutally hard it is. There's usually not a lot of enemies on screen at once, but they tend to lay traps for you. The wasps, for example, will fire projectiles at you, and you can't really jump over or through them. If one fires its projectiles right in front of you, you're pretty much dead. And the game loves having enemies rush towards you very quickly. Like here, the spider just zooms towards you. Or here, the snake shoots projectiles right when you kill them sometimes, and they're just too fast to avoid. But perhaps the worst are the birds. They tend to fly across the screen incredibly fast right as you're jumping, and you can't control yourself in mid-jump. So often you'll jump and then blam, a bird immediately smacks right into you mid-jump. And this seems kind of like a memorization-based game, but the exact timing and number and position of certain enemies seems kind of random. So you can't just memorize specifically when to jump. And these kinds of sudden deaths occur over and over again. It's infuriating. Right now I'm also playing Ninja Gaiden for this episode, and let me tell you, the first half of Ninja Gaiden is a piece of cake compared to the first part of Amagon. Sure, Ninja Gaiden has numerous respawning enemies and flying enemies and that sort of thing, but they just don't move this fast. It's like ghosts and goblins, only the enemies can zoom across the screen in a split second. I mean, look at this, how could I possibly have avoided that bird? So the constant cheap deaths, the limited ammo, and the fact that the bosses are pretty much impossible if you're not in Megagon form, make Amagon not very well remembered today. Most people seem to dislike it, though it does have a few defenders. The original version seems to be an early example of the Japanese fixation on campy bodybuilder games. Other examples being, of course, the Cho Aniki games, or the WiiWare title Muscle March. The US version gives no explanation whatsoever about how or why Amagon turns into Megagon. I can't say Amagon is good, but it has potential, but the way it alternates between sort of dull, unchallenging areas and repeated instant deaths make Amagon not very fun.